Hey guys, it's Stephen here, back with another video. How you all doing? I thought I'd use today, bank holiday, before the Leicester game tonight, to do a very quick video for the Patreon Q&A contributors. So if you don't know, basically, every month I want to try and do the Patreon Q&A for people who contribute $10 or more on my Patreon. It's the only way I can give back to these guys, basically, a little something, but also you get to watch the questions and answers as well. So if you want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Company. If not, just keep watching these videos and hopefully enjoy this bonus little bit of content. And guys, the people who are $10 and above, make sure you actually reply to me on Patreon so you can get your questions in, because a lot of you don't respond, so you don't get to do this stuff, which would be a shame because I want you to be able to enjoy the perks of your Patreon membership anyway. So today I'm going to run through a few questions submitted by people. Some of the timelines are a little bit skewed in terms of when I got the questions and what's happened, so I've edited some bits out, if that makes sense, because obviously some of it's not relevant anymore. But in general, the questions are still pretty interesting and a wide range of subjects. So I'm going to start with Jesus, or is it Jesus, or was it Jesus? It could be anything. Jesus Calderon. Do you think Gundogan will be sold this summer? If so, who would you see replacing him? And thank you for putting out great content every week. Thank you for enjoying the content as well. I think Gundogan could very much leave. I think the interest in Bruno Fernandes that we've all seen recently is very real and very strong, and to me that shows either City preparing for life after Ilkay Gundogan or life after David Silva, possibly the pair of them, which is pretty terrifying, but this is the reality that we live in. Now Gundogan himself has said that he's very old school and doesn't mind going into the last year of his contract and seeing what happens there, where City, and obviously understandably, don't really like that. Big clubs don't tend to like having massive assets with absolutely loads of money just kind of waddling off on a free transfer potentially. Now, he could sign, he could stay. He's been very, very good over the past few months. A key member of our squad and absolutely fantastic at the number 6 role. Yes, there may be some question marks about his long-term suitability to that role, given the fact he's not great defensively, but we can't deny how good he is at dictating play for us. He's been absolutely brilliant there. But in general, I think he might actually leave. He could be sold this summer. I mean, to me, he's like a £40-50 million player, so I'd be gutted if he does leave, because I think generally he's starting to show how good he can be, so intelligent on the ball, but he could leave, and I think Bruno Fernandes would soften that blow. Rob Kavanagh said, "Where were you when Dickoff scored at Wembley? I was at the game myself, and my dad tried making us leave after the Gillingham 1-0 up, and I'm glad I stopped him. I wasn't there, unfortunately. Back then, I was the only blue in my household. I started to turn my dad into a blue. He was more of a rugby fan because he was from Wales, for his sins. Essentially, I turned him into a Manchester City fan, so games for then were very sporadic for me. Couldn't get the points, all that kind of stuff. Couldn't get to Wembley. I think my parents couldn't afford it really, so I watched it in the pub with my dad. I was about 13 years old, something like that. I was just watching the pub, close to tears, and I remember doing a cartwheel in the middle of the pub with loads of blokes laughing. My little energetic, giddy self when he put it in. And after that, I think I mimicked Nicky Weaver's celebrations. He was my favourite player because I was a goalkeeper as a kid, and I ran around just screaming, going absolutely crazy. Good old days, and fondly remembered. Jameson Tanner said, without thought of what it'd take financially, what would your dream City side look like if you could have any player in the world on current form? Just the team we've got now. No, that's a very boring answer. Though largely it's actually probably true, because I think in general squad chemistry is really important, and you can't just pick and choose different players to go in because it might not necessarily always work. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to pick some controversial choices here. I'm going to explain it all. Ederson in goals, I wouldn't change him for absolutely anyone. Honestly, I would kind of want Kyle Walker, but I'll change it for the sake of this video. Because when I look at the right backs across the world, I guess he's Trent Alexander-Arnold, good player, but he doesn't really appeal to me. Maybe it's because he's not my local Catalan, that makes sense. But then there's also like Dani Alves, getting very old. Carvajal, not really excited by him. There is good right backs, and Kyle Walker is one of the best in the world. Though, for the sake of this video, I'll say Wan-Bissaka. It'd be great to get the future of our right back sold up for the next 10 years, wouldn't it? Sewn up even. I'd have to put Van Dijk alongside Laporte, because Van Dijk is fantastic, as we all know. There's no point denying that. Those two together would be a perfect partnership. Then left back, I wish it was Mendy fit. A fully fit Mendy is 100% my choice there, fully fit Mendy. Other than that, though, once again, Marcelo's getting quite old. The likes of Alaba are not quite what they used to be. And I hate to say this, it's another Liverpool player. Robertson is a fantastic fullback, energetic, gets forward, can cross the ball. I'd have him. Liverpool are a good team. You know, genuinely are a good team. But that's where the Liverpool loving ends. Trust me on that one. Just 2 good players there from Liverpool. In terms of number 6, Fernandinho is still the best number 6 in the world, in my humble opinion. I genuinely believe that. But for the sake of this video, once again, I would love someone from Atletico. Someone like, maybe go for Saul or Partey or Rodri, one of those, basically, because they're all fantastic players. Saul and Niguez, I think, could genuinely turn into a very Fernandinho-esque kind of player. I really like him. But obviously, Rodri is basically seen as the next Busquets. And I think that's pretty much fair, really. Ahead of them, I wouldn't swap De Bruyne for anyone in the world, and likewise Bernardo Silva. I think Bernardo Silva is fantastic, and as great as some of the attacking midfielders are in this world, those two for me are the future of attacking midfielders. They're absolutely fantastic, so they're going in there because I just genuinely love them both that much. On the right, it's got to be Messi, because Lionel Messi is Lionel Messi. Aguero would go through the middle because I love him, but I'm going to say for this video, Kylian Mbappe, because Mbappe is special and he could be the long-term success. I know he's more kind of like wide sometimes, but long-term success is Aguero for me. Mbappe, maybe Jovic, or maybe Joao Felix, but I'm going to say Mbappe. I put Sterling on the left because Sterling's fantastic, underappreciated. It could be Neymar, it could be Salah or Mane, but no, Sterling. I'd rather Sterling. I know generally would rather Sterling, or maybe Hazard or something like that. Anyway, there's a bunch of players that I like. Hope that answers your question, Jameson. Blair Robbins said, with the current situation, the clean out of up to 8 players, including Sane and Jesus, apparently, how does City replace these players? I pray that those two especially do not go, as they surely both deserve more game time. And when is Bernardo going to play in the middle with De Bruyne, get Sane back in the team? Well, this was a message from a couple of weeks back from Blair. So obviously things have changed there, and obviously Bernardo is currently in the middle because De Bruyne is out. I think the reason Bernardo's been out wide is because he's been so good out wide, and because David Silva is like seen as a captain on the pitch in terms of the guy who understands how Guardiola wants teams to play more than anything. He really is the conduit for everything that Guardiola wants, even if you can't always see it, and his form has been good the past couple of weeks since you wrote that comment, to be fair to you. But even though we don't always see it, sometimes he is the ticking brain of that team, and Guardiola trusts him more than anyone to get his message across. Bernardo Silva will, of course, probably in the long run be there, but we're in no rush at the moment because we're very blessed with great attacking midfielders. And Sane, if Sane wants to be in the team, he works there and he will get in the team. But in terms of the clear out, you can see obviously maybe the likes of Danilo leave, maybe Fabian Delph leave, maybe Otamendi, which will mean we'll need another centre-back. And if the rumours are correct, we might go without a new left-back, which we wanted, because we need a new centre-back. Who that will be, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea who will that be, but we will sign a centre-back in the summer if Otamendi goes, I'm almost certain. Then obviously, who else could leave? I don't know, from that Gundogan maybe. There's that weird rumour about David Silva to going to Japan, to Vissel Kobe. Why did I say that so weird then? Vissel Kobe. Very fun word to say, actually. I don't know who will go. In terms of signings this summer, I can see us going for someone like Bruno Fernandes, signing midfielder. Maybe we'll go for a forward, because someone might leave to terrifiers like Gabriel Jesus, or even worse, Leroy Sané. I don't know where, but I feel like something big's going to happen. And with Pep Guardiola, as great as he is, becomes big change. But basically, I think a few players will leave. Maybe 1 or 2 will get a bit more seniority, like Foden will get more seniority. Maybe we'll see Eric Garcia get a bit of a chance. But I think we'll see maybe 4 or 5 leave and maybe 3 come in. That's what I think will happen this summer. Carl Masala said, what's going on with Kompany? He said it's a while back, to be fair to him, but I thought I'd answer this question now for you, mate. And what role should you play after City's contract ends? Well, I think now he's shown that he probably will be around next season. I think if Otamendi likely leaving, Kompany probably will stay, and rightfully so. Kompany's an absolute rock of a captain. I'm more than happy to be number 4, or maybe push into number 1 in some big games, as he's shown this season. If he keeps those knees going, or those legs, whatever it is, it's caused problems I've forgotten. He's a fantastic player. And after his contract ends at Manchester City, well, Vincent Kompany could do anything he wants in the world, never mind football. He's incredibly charismatic, incredibly intelligent, an incredibly well-rounded human. The potential to do genuinely anything he wants. For me, coaching and managing just seems almost below him. And I mean that with all due respect to coaches, managers and people working football, but he just seems so intelligent. He seems so politically motivated. And his dad's the first mayor. I think he was like the first black mayor in a certain town in Belgium or something like that. He's obviously got that intense intelligence. He speaks so many languages. He studied business and economics, I think, and got a degree in that, something like that. And he's very politically aware, given his current attempts to try and raise money for the homelessness in Manchester. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised him to be more political in his ambitions. Be it with FIFA, I can honestly see him rising to the top of FIFA or UEFA, some kind of organisation, and being the man for change in a positive way. He's always been very outspoken about ticket prices and all that kind of stuff. And Kompany, honestly, I can see being more than just a manager. Maybe he will be, but I can see him wanting more than that. I think his brain and his intelligence dictates that. You could go into politics knowing Vincent Kompany. Honestly, you know George Weah is like ended up Prime Minister. Is it in Liberia? Is that right? Let me quickly Google that. I think he is Prime Minister of Liberia. Is that correct? Yep. Yep. That's indeed correct, which is absolutely crazy. I would not be surprised if that's what Kompany did. He went for something like that because he's world-renowned, an incredibly articulate, intelligent individual, and he would not let himself down, and it'd be very, very impressive. Not in Liberia, but a career in politics in general, maybe back in Belgium or something like that. Or maybe he'll just stay in football. But either way, I hope he uses his brain, his intelligence, his charisma for good, which I'm sure he will do because he's too intelligent not to. Anyway, I think that's pretty much all the questions there, guys. Once again, there's loads of people who have got the $10 plus kind of tier on Patreon. Guys, I can't answer your questions if you don't send them in. I really want to, so make sure you don't miss out on your benefits because I love doing these Q&As when you get a chance. So this one now is on Monday the 6th of May. I'll try and do one at the start of June as well. So if you're watching this, you want to get involved, patreon.com/Esteemed Company. These guys here, thank you very much for getting involved and supporting this channel. You're absolute heroes. Right, fingers crossed, I'm back in a few hours' time, a lot less sad. Now this video, I've recorded this 4:30, so it'll probably be about 4 o'clock, a couple of hours beforehand. Come on, City.